All right, what's up my brothers? So in this video we're going to be talking about my RS5. It's gone. By the time you watch this video, it will no longer be in my possession. I've had this car for just over a year now. I love it to bits. It's a fantastic vehicle and I want to do a quick review and explain why I like this car, what the downsides are. I'll send my editor a few clips of the vehicle so that you can see some photographs of it, but I want you to hear this first of all. This car is not stock. It's stage 2 tuned, and I'm going to go through the hardware with you. So it's got a couple of downpipes. It's a 2.9 twin turbo V6. This is a 2019 model, and they're catless. There's also a Wagner intercooler. There's a carbon fiber intake. I think APR is a brand if I'm not mistaken. And the software tune on a Mustang dynamometer is what sort of brings it all together. The dyno puts out 580-ish horsepower and around 620 pound-feet of torque. This is in the D mode, so this is an 8-speed automatic in this particular vehicle. It sounds really good. It's actually one of my favorite sounding cars I've ever owned, and I've owned a lot of vehicles. If you guys followed my channel for a while, you know I've had M5s, M3s, R8s, McLaren 720, I've got a Porsche Turbo S, and the car that's replacing this, I'm not going to tell you what it is, you're going to have to wait till the next video. But I've had quite a few cars. I'm telling you, this is one of the best sounding vehicles I've ever built. I'm going to put it in S mode now, which opens up the valve in the back. And you're going to hear a slightly different tune to the engine. Listen to this. And then when I let off, you get the pops and bangs because it's got both the mufflers opened up. It sounds amazing. I generally drive it in D mode because it's just smoother and I actually like the more induction sound that you get. I don't know where it comes from, to be honest with you, if it's a combination of the exhaust and the carbon fiber intake, or it's mostly coming from the engine induction, but this car sounds amazing. I am going to miss this car. I am going to miss this motor. I think if anything in the future, I'm probably going to grab a Porsche Macan GTS because it has the same motor that's in this car, the same 2.9 V6, and add all the same hardware to it as a daily driver because that car actually looks cool, it's bigger. One of the problems that I have with this car is I'm kind of like reviewing it here for you, is that it has a very bouncy suspension. You probably won't notice it watching the video, but it's very floaty in comfort mode, and it's a little too floaty if I'm being honest. Any inconsistencies or bumps or anything that's in the road, you'll feel the car sort of like float over it, and it's just too soft. Now if I put it in dynamic mode, because it has adjustable dampers, I'm going to do that right now, put it in dynamic. It automatically shifts into S in the transmission for sport. I'll put it back in D, but when you put it in dynamic, it's too harsh. So one of the problems that I've had with this car that I really don't like, and I didn't want to keep it long enough to want to change it or even investigate how to change it. I was more about tuning the engine to see what I could get out of it. But you either have the choice of a floaty sort of old 70s Cadillac, which if you like that isn't that bad of an idea or a thing, or your other option is very, very harsh and bouncy, sort of hard riding, like it's very harsh riding right now. I don't know if you can see me bouncing around up and down in the seat, and the road surface here is not that bad. It's kind of cavitated a little bit here and there, but I'm bouncing around a lot more. So I'm going to put it back in a comfort mode, soften up the dampers, and it'll kind of lighten up and go into a more floaty mode. It's okay. Like, I wouldn't call this one of the best handling cars. In fact, I would probably say that the BMW product equivalent, the M3, the M4, probably handles better. But in my estimation, when you look at this car, this is a stunning car from any angle. I love the Daytona gray metallic. It's a fantastic color. I love the console, the layout, everything on the inside. It's a beautifully designed car. In my opinion, I think Mercedes and BMWs look like shit compared to Audis, but you know, this is all personal taste. It's got carbon fiber everywhere, interior, console, mirror caps, side sills, rear spoiler, front lip. It's just covered in carbon fiber. In fact, this car has way more carbon fiber than my Porsche Turbo S, which costs 5 times as much. This is just loaded with carbon fiber everywhere. It's just an amazing looking car. It's well designed, it's well built. There's no rattles, there's no loose pieces. It drives well. It actually gets surprisingly good fuel economy. On a long road trip doing like 200, 250 kilometers on the highway, I can average a good solid 7 liters per 100 kilometers, maybe 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. And that's not doing the speed limit. That's doing a decent clip with traffic. So overall, it's a great built car. It's robust. I've never had a check engine light. I've never had the car let me down. Unlike my other cars, my Turbo S, check engine lights have been popping up here and there. It's just a ridiculous thing. At this point, it's almost comical. My McLaren 720 was always in the shop for some sort of little trinket or something just stupid, a sensor, parking sensors or something took too much damage, and they like just the weirdest things kept popping up over and over again in these hyper expensive supercars. But at this price point, I'm telling you guys, if you want a nice car and you want to build a nice fast performance car that sounds awesome, that gets really good fuel economy, which really only has 2 downsides. The dampers suck from the factory, which I'm pretty sure you can change and improve, and the dampers, and I think that was really it, wasn't it? I gotta think about that for a second. Yeah, sorry, it's not even 2. Like, the main disadvantage to this car is really the ride, and if anything else, I can say the headroom sucks. I'm about 6'2", and I have to recline the seat back to sort of clear over here. I don't have much space. You may have seen me from time to time go over a bump in an intersection or like train tracks, and my head will hit the ceiling because I get thrown up. That's the only thing. So if you're a tall guy, this is not the best as far as comfort. It also has one other thing, which you're not gonna be able to see, but I'm gonna hit the button right now anyway, and the lumbar and the lower back turns into a massage item. You don't get that in the BMW products. This thing rolls up and down my lower back when I'm driving on long trips. It's soothing, it's relaxing, and it actually does something. It's pretty sweet, if I'm being honest. This is a fantastic car, and I'm really gonna miss it when it's gone. But the thing that I'm replacing it with, because I don't really want to have too many cars, that'll be in an upcoming video where I make the announcement of what is replacing this car, which is a far cooler vehicle, and I'll explain why in that video, why I've decided to get rid of this and trade it in for that car. But anyway, that's a quick review on what's basically been my in-car studio for the last year. Anytime you see me in a video in this car, that's what it is. It's a 2019 Audi RS5 Coupe in Daytona gray on black leather interior loaded with carbon, and a stage 2 tune, which gives it the fantastic power and induction sound. I forgot to tell you how fast this car is because it hasn't been measured down a quarter mile, but a good friend of mine took delivery of a new GT3 RS, and we may have been in Mexico at one point and let it go, and I know that car does a 10.8 quarter mile, close to 130 miles an hour. And this is no slouch. It's right on its tail, nipping away in Mexico, only in Mexico. So there you have it, guys. Quick cars. Check them out. If it's something that you're interested in, grab one. Beautiful, beautiful cars. I'm really gonna miss it. Leave a comment below. Peace out, guys.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.